Good afternoon, Year Ones. Today we are going to learn about Helen Sharman. Have you ever heard of her before? Who do you think she might be? Discuss this with your adult. So Helen Sharman is an astronaut. We're going to find out more about her today. So we've been learning all about what astronauts do, haven't we, this week? But I thought it would be a good idea to learn about a famous British astronaut. Okay, got a short video to watch first, and then we've got some facts to go through.
This is a story about Helen Sharman, the first British astronaut. It was written by Isabel Thomas and illustrated by Alex Patrick. It's a Reading Planet book published by Rising Stars. Helen Sharman was born in the UK in 1963. Helen got a good job planning and testing things. In 1989, Helen took part in a contest to go into orbit. Helen was smart and fit. She was the winner. "I'm in shock," she said. Helen was going to go up in a big rocket. She had to train hard for a year. "Do not stop," said the trainers. No British person had ever been in orbit until Helen went. The rocket took off. It went higher and higher. Helen helped to repair things when she was in orbit. Helen tested seeds to see what might happen to them. Helen said the best part of her trip was looking down on the planet. The land was green and brown. The lights were sparkling and bright. Helen had such fun. She floated and twisted and turned. She slept standing up. The trip lasted for a week. When Helen got back, she was a star.
Okay. So that's helped us learn a little bit about Helen Sharman, hasn't it? So this is a photo of Helen Sharman. So Helen Sharman was born on the 30th of May 1963 in a place called Sheffield in the United Kingdom, which is where we live, isn't it? She studied chemistry at the University of Sheffield. She then worked as a chemist. Helen heard an advert on the radio inviting British people to apply to be the first Briton in space. Helen applied, and in November 1989 she was selected from nearly 13,000 applicants. That's a lot, isn't it? She was very lucky. Helen had to take fitness tests and learned how to run the experiments she would be doing in space. Helen had to take many tests to make sure she would be able to manage being in space. Then she had 18 months training at Star City, a Russian space centre. Helen also had to learn how to speak Russian. There she is, sitting in the middle there with the two other astronauts. On 18th of May 1991, the first British astronaut, Helen Sharman, launched a Soyuz spacecraft with two other cosmonauts, which is a Russian astronaut. She spent 8 days orbiting the Earth. Can you imagine that? Being in space for 8 whole days. How exciting. On the space station, Helen conducted medical and plant tests and took photos of the UK and spoke to British school children on a radio from space. Wow. Can you see this picture in the middle here? That's her actually in space. You can tell by her hair, can't you? It's floating around because there's no gravity. After the mission, Helen travelled to different schools to talk about her experiences and the importance of science. Helen also wrote a book called The Space Place. Here it is. She now works at a university in London. Helen was celebrated for being the first British person who has travelled to space. She was given an OBE, which is a special, look at this medal she got. She was given it by the Queen in 1993. And she was also given a star on the Sheffield Walk of Fame. So, now that you've learnt lots of facts about Helen Sharman, your independent task today is to write a fact file, or you could create a poster about Helen Sharman. See if you can include the following. So I'd like you to include when she was born, how did she get to become an astronaut? So what did she have to do to become an astronaut? When did she go into space? And how long was she in space for? So you can look back through this video to help you with that. And as a challenge, maybe you could find out a different fact about Helen Sharman that we haven't included today. Super history learning, well done year ones.